Hello everyone. So in today's video I'm going to be doing something that I said in my previous video, which was showing off something that I got recently, and this needs to stop focusing because it's in focus. Okay, so I got some things off of eBay, off of a lot. It was a special lot for one doll in particular. Yes, it's doll related, of course. Everything on this channel is. And for the foreseeable future will be. But, that's a bit of a tangent. I'm going to be going through bit by bit of what was included in the lot, and then I'll be saving the very special one for last. So, I saw this lot, and it was quite cheap for what you were getting and the current price range of these. You can probably already guess what they are. I did say that I was going to be doing a little bit more of these, so this is kind of my introduction to that. And that would be a Monster High lot. It was a Monster High lot. And one of them, there were, how many dolls were there? There were there were 1, 2, 3, no, it was 3, 4, they were like 5-ish dolls. I'm including, there were parts as well. Some broken parts, which I'll be showing after the whole dolls. So, the first one I got was this. This is a ghouls. I did not know this, when I saw this lot. This is a ghouls fair Elizabeth. So, I wish this camera would stop focusing. So this is her. She has no arm. Well, she has arms. I need a hand. Draculaura arms will be sufficient. She has a teeny bit. She's actually in really good condition. She has all of her paint. Her bangs even still have a little bit of gel in them, I believe. She has no. There we go. She's got really beautiful face paint. No crooked, wonky eyes. Really beautiful doll. Hair has a little bit of glue seepage. The Monster High dolls, notorious for them. Most of the dolls used glue in the head until, like, I don't know if G2 did that. G1, nah, G3 does not do that anymore. Mattel does not use glue in their dolls' hair anymore. Thank God. So this is her. Yeah, but other than missing everything, even including her arms, she's in fantastic condition. Really good doll. No haircuts from what I can see. Ghouls Fair Elizabeth. Okay, so now that she's out of the way, let's see, who am I going to do next? I guess I'll save these two for I guess I'll get this one out of the way since this one isn't a Monster High doll. This one was the only one in the lot that was not a Monster High doll. So this is an Ever After High doll. I have one Ever After High doll that still has its face. I was notorious for just cutting all my dolls' hair off, taking off the face, and throwing them to the side, or making an awful custom. So this is actually my only Ever After High doll that's still in. This is my only Ever After High doll that has its face and its hair. So, yeah, she is missing a hand, which my other one that still has a face is also missing a hand, just on the opposite side. So this one is missing her left hand, but my other one's missing her right hand, I believe. So this is a Mina Mermaid, I believe that's her name. I looked her up. I couldn't clearly identify which one she was. I think she is the first one, so like her basic doll. I'm not sure. I think this was from the reboot. I believe Ever After High had a reboot at some point, but this doll is really pretty. I actually quite like her. She was dirty when I got her. I cleaned all of these dolls, just by the way. This is not a just out of package thing. I've cleaned every single one except for a body that will be shown later in the video, and some clothes that were on them that were pretty not original Monster High clothes. So this is her. Very beautiful face. Once again, she was pretty dirty. She had like, it's kind of like, it's weird. It's like when kids get like dirty hands and they kind of do like that and touch their doll. It was just like a lot of grease, I guess. Greasy, dirty, icky kid hands face syndrome. I don't know what it was, but she has she has the most glue in her head out of all of these dolls. Like, that cannot even squish her face hardly. I feel like she has glue all the way down here, but somehow no glue seepage at all. She has like really good hair. Excellent hair, actually. Look at that wave and bounce. It's very shiny as well. So this is a really pretty doll. She actually came in this outfit, which is not her original, I don't believe. I don't even know if it's an Ever After High outfit, but it fit her quite well, so she'll probably be going back in this after I wash it. Cute outfit. No tags or anything, but yeah, that's Mina. Really nice, you know, way to start off my Ever After High. I used to be big into Ever After High. I had all of the main ones. I don't anymore, because I destroyed them, sadly. They were first issue as well when they first came out, so that's sad. Okay, so the next doll is a... no, I'll do this one instead. The next doll is a... Oh, boom, my first ever Honey Swamp, and this is part of the Freak de Chic line. I believe it's a very sought-after line, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of... It was getting towards the end of Monster High, so like 14... Like G1 is what I'm talking about, the original run of Monster High, before they had the G2 reboot. And this was way before G3 even was conceptualized, but my first ever Honey Swamp, I believe these were from like 14, 15, somewhere in there. I don't believe it was 13. These were towards the end, because I was out of Monster High. I remember when the 13 Wishes were like being released and stuff, the commercials and like scares and stuff like that, and that was in like 13, somewhere around there, so this is probably 14, 15. This doll originally, so these dolls, they had like these, each doll had its own like prop, I guess, like there was one doll that had stilts, which her name was Twyla. She's in the G3 Monster High doll line as well, so if you just like go to Amazon, type in Twyla doll, you'll see her G3 release. She's really pretty. I actually like her G3 a little bit more than her G1, because it just looks a little bit more youthful, I guess, but it's besides the point. I go off on tangents. So this doll was like, I don't know what, she came on a swing, which is, I didn't realize this, but that's why her legs are like, they're extremely, these are the most floppy Monster High legs I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure she was meant to be like this, so when she was set on her swing, her legs would like go back and forth or something like that. It's a really neat idea. I quite like the idea of these dolls, and they're slowly becoming one of my favorite lines. I really love the Claudine from this line. She was like monochromatic type of thing going on, like a clamp. I don't know. It was so interesting. I love that doll. That's one of my most wanted Monster High dolls, is the Freak de Chic Claudine and Twyla. Yeah, Twyla and Claudine. Those are two of my favorites, because Twyla came with stilts. Very interesting doll line. So this is her. She has obviously nothing of her original is on. She has nothing. Not even her arms, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. She also has some bite marks on her legs, which I heated up some boiling hot water. Like, I put her in the water while it was still on the stove, like, boiling. Like I was making doll soup. But, she still has some really gnarly... They lightened up a lot, though. Like, if you didn't know, if you dunk your... Like, if you have a chewed Barbie hand... It depends on how far the hand's been chewed, or like feet or something like that, that's plastic, like a softer plastic or even hard plastic, or a dent or something. You can dump it in hot water, and the plastic or the vinyl will kind of reshape itself somewhat. At least it will help in the reshaping. It won't go back completely a lot of the times, but it's worth a try. And you know, this did lighten them quite a bit. They were a lot more prominent, but now they're like not that noticeable. She does have a really bad one right there. That one's pretty dented. I might end up doing it again. I'm not sure. If I had a heat gun, I might be able to do that, but I don't know if I'm... She has a really beautiful... This is one of the only Monster High dolls, I think, that had this, like, very textured hair. It was really unique. This hair always kind of intimidated me, because I felt like I was gonna mess it up or something, but just don't brush it. Just, like, pick it or something with like a pick, or with your fingers or something, it'll be fine. But god, my fingers are kind of like cracked, if you can see that, from rerouting and just like daily life stuff, so it keeps getting caught in the hair. It's really bad. But yeah, this doll is really beautiful. Hopefully I'll be able to get her some arms. I'm hoping in the future, once I have some money or something, I'll be able to like hunt down these dolls like accessories and clothing somewhat, just like at least their base clothing to like give them, have them more presentable. But these aren't the reason that I got the lot. Now, I got the lot because of that doll plus all the rest of these dolls. So we're getting close to that really special one. We only have like 3 more things to show. Okay, so this doll is a Frights camera. Let me just finish what I was saying first. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. This doll is a Frights camera action Cleo Denial. I actually thought that this was, when I was looking at her, until I looked a bit closer and just wanted to make sure that I thought this was a Scaris Cleo Denial. To be fair, they do have quite similar hairstyles. They both had bangs, just styled differently, and I believe they both had this kind of blue-ish color. I guess it's more of a, like, dark teal. Yeah, it's actually quite a bit more green. So I like like teal or whatever in person. The camera's not picking it up quite well. But, this doll actually has a crack in her neck, and she's missing her arm and hand. Oh, and she has some chew marks on her foot. So she's in she's in meh condition. You know what I mean? And she has some split ends, some pretty gnarly ones. Her hair was matted. It's fine. I don't think it actually had glue seepage in her hair either. Oh, and I just realized there's another doll that I forgot existed until I just looked up there. And this doll looks pretty wild right now, so I'll show her after I do this one. But yeah, she's a really pretty doll. I remember the Frights camera action doll line. I remember a lot of like I remember the first release of Monster High when it came out. I remember being in Macy's and seeing those dolls when I was like, what, 8? 7, 8, somewhere around there. And I was just mesmerized by them. And we got them, all of the dolls, I believe, for Christmas, except for the Cleo and Deuce set. So we got all of the dolls for Christmas, and they're all gone. They're all destroyed, and it makes me cringe just thinking about it. We don't even have the base doll anymore, just like maybe like an accessory or two, but oh, that makes me cringe so much. I remember a lot of these dolls. Obviously these were a big part of my childhood, the Monster High dolls. So basically, like, kids in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like, they had Barbie, but in my generation we had Monster High dolls. These were the cool, you were cool if you had these dolls, you know what I mean? They were cooler than Barbie, in my opinion, and I have a lot fonder memories. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have a lot of fond memories of Barbie, but I remember these and loving these the most, even now. So, that's her. I went off on a little bit more of a I wish the camera would stop doing that. It's a really good phone camera, but sometimes it just needs to stop. I don't know how to get it to stop doing that. But yeah, no chips on her makeup. Very good doll. Actually, she does have a chip on her lip now that I'm looking at it right there. I thought that was some shine. No, that's a chip on the lip. But other than that, really nice. Thank God this is when they started sealing their dolls properly. Can't say that for the one doll that I'm going to show later. Because this is a Save Frankie Claudine doll. This was when the line was like going downhill. I'm not going to lie. Like some of the design, you're probably wondering what's on her face. Actually, I should tell you what's on her face instead of going on that. But it's baby powder. She has glue seepage. When dolls have glue seepage, the best thing to do, in my opinion, this is just my way of getting rid of it for the time being, just douse their entire scalp in baby powder and rub it through the hair. Leave it on there for like a few hours to a day or so, even more if it's really bad, or if you just want to be... This doll has had it in her hair for a while. I forget that she was under there until just now, so... besides the baby powder, which I don't think I'm going to be able to get off for this video. Face is really shiny because of it. So yeah, this is when the line was kind of like, they were running out of ideas for Monster High. I'm not, like, let's be honest. But I still love them. They have the base Monster High doll sculpts and the characters and the designs and whatnot. She still has her earrings, surprisingly. Missing her arm and right hand, just like Cleo as before. She doesn't have any cracks or any... Oh! I think she does have a crack. She does indeed have a crack, because I just heard her neck snap a little bit. As you can see, you probably can't see that, actually. She has a crack right there, and she has a hairline crack right there. So I'm going to be careful when handling this doll, because that's not good. I don't like, ooh, and her head just got a bit more wobbly. So yeah, I'm gonna be gentle with this doll because I don't like to glue their necks unless they're really bad. So yeah, her head got a lot wobblier just now, so that's not good. But yeah, she does have a crack, sadly, but she'll look great. My G1 Monster High dolls, I don't like play with them like my G3 Monster High dolls because they're older. They're getting up towards vintage in a few years, so that's not good. So that was Claudine. Yeah, Claudine had some good releases. That's not one of my favorites, but I still love her. I love them even if they're not my favorite. So now I'm going to show some of the like little parts and stuff. This doll did not come like this. She came with awful polypropylene hair, and that is this is my first, not my first time seeing the G2 in person, the G2 Monster High dolls. I remember seeing them in stores. I have like vague memories of seeing these in stores. I wasn't too into dolls when these came out. I kind of grown, you kind of go through phases, and I kind of grew out of dolls a little bit and was going more into gaming and whatnot, but I got back into them, and I figured out that, oh, they rebooted the line, and this is Frankie, and I actually don't hate them as much as I used to. Like, it's kind of known in the cult, the community, I guess you could call it a cult, the community, that G2 was not, people didn't like G2, it's really hated on, and some cases rightfully so, because they really downgraded the doll quality and the designs and stuff, and just the creativity of the original line. Everything just went downhill. But retrospect, I'm using a bit of looking back, little retrospective on it, they weren't that bad. Like, especially with some of the design choices they have nowadays. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I think G3 is by far better than this, but like, I like this more because it had, they used more of the original character, I should say. There were a lot of the original characters in this, and that's why I appreciate G2 for what it was. It's gone, it's never coming back. But yeah, I do appreciate G2 and what they did. And yes, yeah. So this doll's in pretty okay condition. She has a few marks right there, but you can't see them. Her face print, screening, stamp, is pretty good. Her lips are a little off center, but that's fine. I'm rerouting her in the style of a G1, Wave 1 Frankie Stein. So I'm just going to show you that, because I do have one right here. It's not this is a Creep Reduction doll. I do have I have all 4 Creep Reduction dolls. I ordered them a week before launch. Walmart had leaked them. So I'm doing this style of hair on this G2 Frankie Stein doll. And I'm going to style it the same style as this, but I decided to, instead of white, since I don't really have like a pure white, and the hair that I do have is a different texture, it's like a different quality of, not nylon, Kanekalon than this. I just decided to use like the same type of Kanekalon, just in a different color and black. So yeah. Plus, it'll kind of go with Claudine. She kind of has, like, if you didn't know, the Save Frankie doll that went with the Claudine that I just showed with the baby powder and cracked neck. Her hair was Kanekalon, one of the only Frankie dolls with Kanekalon hair. I believe that's the only Frankie doll with Kanekalon hair. And her hair was black and blue, and I really like that doll. And she's one of the ones that I want. She has gorgeous blue lips. Like, I think they're dark blue. I don't remember quite well, but it was a basic doll, but I really loved like the base doll, and it's just simple and freaky and fabulous. And I wish they kind of used the freaky just get fabulous slogan a little more with this generation, but whatever. But yeah, I'm making her look more like a G1 Wave 1 Frankie with the hair. She doesn't, I have bodies, they're kind of trashed. I don't know, we'll see what happens with her getting a body and such. And then the last thing that I got in the lot, other than the thing I'm going to show you, for the really special one, was this Werecat sister body. I forget, it was Meowlity and Persephone. I don't know which one's which. I forgot. I kind of get fuzzy on some of the names. I knew a lot of the names. I still know a lot of the names, but these in particular, kind of forget, you get a little fuzzy. But yeah, this will be a good, like, replacement. I like to have parts handy in case I get a hit or I find a broken doll or something that needs like a limb transplant or something, you know. I have like a whole box full of them right here with mostly Draculaura for some reason. But yeah, this is just like a body in case, which I probably will be using it. And then I got this piece of clothing, which is not Monster High, it's like a Barbie thing, but I do have Barbie dolls, and I'm sure they'll look great in this. So after I wash it, it will be going on a Barbie doll. And the last thing, and the thing that I bought this lot for, is really special, and it's my first one, and she was in fairly good condition. And for the price, like for all these dolls, it's pretty shocking that there were 10 watchers on that lot, so I'm glad that I scooped it up when I could. This is, other than that Cleo doll, I only had one other Cleo doll, which I mentioned in my previous video. That was my only Cleo doll that I still had, and one of my few remaining childhood dolls. I finally got a Wave 1 Cleo. I got a Wave 1 Cleo! Not only is she a Wave 1 Cleo in great shape, may I add, like, she has no broken hairs, her tensil's great, her face paint's immaculate, like, she has, like, a little bit of a misprint. I don't know if you can see, like, one eye's slightly higher than the other, but I don't care. I've seen some really wacky-looking G1 dolls, especially Cleo. She was notorious for, like, having these really... One eye would be looking that way, and another one would be looking that way. I don't know what was happening there. This doll literally has almost no chipping to her paint. If you didn't know, these dolls weren't sealed properly. So that leads to stuff like this happening. As you can see, her eyebrow's just a teensy bit chipped, and right there. But it's so minor and minuscule that I just don't care. She has literally no split ends. Her hair's perfect. Oh, what was I saying? She is missing one arm, and so you know, if you didn't know, the difference between how you can tell was it 2010 to 2011, I believe, to like early 2012 Monster High doll, which was basically some of the very first releases, is if they have string for their joints, their leg joints. This one is a special one because she has the gold elastics, which I don't know. There were different kinds of elastics, but I hear that the gold ones are sought after. I don't know. I'm into Monster High. I know some stuff about the dolls, but I'm not quite sure about like what's sought after. Like, whereas like I know for like vintage Barbies and stuff, like the 60s first release Barbies, but I don't know the whole history about why I think it's because they were like the earliest releases from what people are guessing. I'm not sure, but this doll is special because of that. I knew right when I saw her that this was a Wave 1 Cleo, obviously, and I checked, and she was, and she was in immaculate condition. She was actually wearing this, which awful, didn't fit, but I didn't care. And I didn't see that she had the elastics either, so it was really cool that when I got her, the first thing I looked at was her elastics, and she was a gold elastic one, and I thought that was so cool. So this is my only... Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. If you didn't know, Wave 1 Monster High dolls, the very first releases, I don't know about any of the other ones after that. But Wave 1, the very first releases, the basic Wave dolls, Frankie, Draculaura, Claudine, Laguna... I don't know about Deuce, I've never held one in my hand. And then Cleo, their joints were notorious because there was no clicking part. So basically, here, let me show you on this Claudine. Basically, what these dolls were known for was having very easily removable limbs for dressing and play and whatnot. It even showcased it in commercial. So later on, let me just show you. It's, as you can see, it's very easy to... I wish this would focus properly. It's very, like, that's, like, minimal effort. That's why she's missing an arm. There's nothing stopping this from going out. It's just, like, a straight cylindrical peg that just goes in there and can come out at any time. Whereas the later one, which this is a much later one, like, by a few years, very hard to take out. Like, that's a lot of effort. They they started to make these to where they couldn't really come out properly. Like, I can't even get that one out, and I don't want to get that one out. Let me see, can I do it with this one to show you, like, the difference? This Cleo. Let me do this Cleo. Okay, there we go. That one came out a lot better. So let me show you the difference between a later release and a first release. This is how you know you have a first release right here, the joint. As you can see, it's a lot... Am I pointing that correct? Okay. As you can see, it's a lot thicker, for one, than the later releases. And the later releases has this little peg up there, right there, where this one doesn't. And that's to prevent the doll's arm from basically falling out like these did. These would just slip out and fly everywhere, and that was a complaint, so they changed it. Thankfully, well, actually I shouldn't say thankfully, because a lot of dolls still lose their limbs. A lot of them, you see them on eBay and stuff. And the bad thing about this is, like, this arm is incompatible with a first wave doll. That just falls right out. It's not a snug fit at all. I'm actually probably going to have to glue this in there, so she's not going to be able to swivel. Or I'm going to have to build something. I'm going to have to add clay or something just to, like... I guess since I'm just going to be displaying her, that will work. But, like, if I were to play with it or whatever, it'd come right out. So, yeah, I'm going to have to think of something for that. Because I do have a hand that will match this. It's kind of... It's from my childhood Cleo doll, but it's kind of got red paint stains on it. So that's, like... I'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, this is the reason I got the lot. I'm so thankful that I was able to get this lot. For this Cleo doll in particular, I've been wanting one for... Especially since they didn't release a Cleo doll reproduction doll. So that's why I decided to get this doll, since it's unlikely that they'll ever be doing a reproduction of basic Cleo Denial, besides the 2015 re-release, which, by the way, is also hard to find. People go after that one because she's more readily accessible, I guess, compared to, like, the first wave. But yeah, so I hope that anyone who watched this video enjoyed it. Hope that it may have gotten some people into Monster High. I know that I have been getting way into Monster High recently with G3 being released. I've been going back to more to G1 though. I'm not gonna lie, some of the G3 doll releases have been somewhat lackluster in terms of design, like the concepts, and just I'm not connecting with the new character for this generation, but it's not made for me. I like the dolls. It's fine. You know, I can always go back to the webisodes. I can always go back to these characters, which I related to, which my favorite character, just so you know, from Monster High is Frankie Stein, daughter of Frankenstein. I love her so much. I relate to her on so many different things, and I'm so glad to finally get a doll, or another doll of her. So yeah. Okay. By another doll, I meant the reproduction, which is in the likeness of the first wave, which I'm hoping to get one. I'm hoping to get, like, first wave, like, the very first waves of every character, bad condition or not, whatever. I just really love the screening on the first wave dolls, and none of the other releases have been able to capture it very specifically, other than, like, the first few wave of dolls released from Monster High. So, sorry for rambling a little bit, but that's what I got off of eBay. I'm really thankful for this doll once again, and hope you enjoyed the video, and bye-bye!